Welcome to today's deep dive. We've got a stack of spec sheets and this rather eye-opening product listing from HDTVSupply in front of us. Our mission today is to, dissect a piece of commercial AV tech that looks incredibly simple on the outside but hides some serious power.
Yeah, we're looking at the Aurora Multimedia RXT-4WM-G3.
Okay, let's unpack this. We're looking at an in-wall touch panel. It's got a 4-inch 720 by 720 screen, and it fits into the exact same double gang electrical box you'd use for like a standard dual light switch.
Right, the exact same footprint.
But the price tag is sitting right around $1,400. Like, what exactly pushes a tiny wall screen into that premium territory?
Well, it's a great question because, you definitely wouldn't install this in a residential hallway to dim your lights. This is built specifically for heavy-duty commercial environments.
You mean like corporate offices and stuff?
Exactly. Corporate conference rooms, university lecture halls, large hospitality venues. In those spaces, a control panel isn't just a switch. It's the primary interface for a highly complex network of projectors, audio systems, and environmental controls.
I get that, but even for a conference room, the processing power seems just, well, like overkill. The spec sheet lists a 6-core 2 gigahertz processor, 8 gigs of DDR4 RAM, 32 gigs of flash memory.
Yeah, it's a lot of hardware.
And it runs on a full Linux operating system. I mean, I have to push back here. Is this essentially a high-end laptop bolted to the wall? Why on earth does a piece of plastic need that much horsepower just to flip a digital switch? Realistically, does a slight delay in dropping a projector screen justify a $1,400 device?
What's fascinating here is the strategy behind that processing power. It's not about multitasking like a laptop. It's about absolute reliability and zero latency.
Zero latency.
Right. In high-stakes environments, a half-second delay when someone presses, dim lights often leads to them tapping the screen 5 more times out of frustration.
Oh, I've totally done that. And then the whole system just freezes up.
Exactly, which can crash an entire AV system. So Aurora addresses this with what they call a ReAX core engine, because all that processing happens local on the wall panel itself, rather than sending a signal down the hall to a server closet and waiting the interface reacts the exact millisecond you touch it.
Ah, so it doesn't need to wait for a network response.
Not at all. It also features a built-in 4K H.264 streaming decoder and a dedicated 2D and 3D graphics engine.
Wait, really? Meaning it doesn't need to rely on an external computer to crunch heavy video files or render complex interface animations? It handles the translation natively, right there on the wall.
Yeah, exactly. It removes the network bottleneck entirely, so the system never hangs or stutters.
Okay, that makes sense. Localizing the processing solves the lag issue. But here's where it gets really interesting. This panel isn't just waiting for someone to walk up and touch it. It actually has its own set of senses.
Yes, the sensory array is quite impressive.
It's packed with an ambient light sensor, a proximity sensor, stereo digital microphones, and a built-in 1-watt speaker. So it's actively monitoring the room.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this is where we move from a simple control screen to true contextual awareness. Those sensors allow the device to act as a localized trigger.
A trigger for the whole room.
Right. It utilizes standard communication protocols for commercial equipment, like RS-232, and power over Ethernet, which lets it pull data and power through a single cable, including USB Type-C. Because it can talk to everything in the room, it can orchestrate the environment based purely on human presence.
Oh, wow. So instead of walking into a dark boardroom and having to manually find a start meeting button, the proximity sensors and microphones detect that you've entered.
Precisely.
And then the panel just tells the lights to turn on, the blinds to lower, and the displays to wake up, all on its own.
That's the idea. It even uses a physical RGB LED ring built around the unit to communicate outward.
Like a status light.
Exactly. The ring can glow red if the panel's internal microphones and sensors detect people inside, or green if it's empty. It basically automates the room's availability status for anyone walking down the hallway.
That is incredibly clever. So what does this all mean? Looking at the sources, I think this Aurora device bridges the gap between a simple, static user interface and a fully automated command center.
It really does.
Yeah, it's taking the real estate of a standard wall switch and turning it into a localized brain that actively reads the room.
Which leaves us with something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
As our walls become equipped with these localized processors, proximity sensors, and stereo microphones that instantly react to our presence,
Right.
how will our fundamental relationship with physical spaces change? I mean, what happens to our expectations of a building when every room we enter is essentially awake and waiting for us?